We've been to the West Coast, we've been to the East Coast, and today we're in Ontario, in Muskoka, for SCOREGolf TV to look at the original great Muskoka golf course, Deerhurst Highlands, today on SCOREGolf TV.
This is Score Golf, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is powered by Volkswagen, from one good drive to another. Brought to you by Score Golf's top 100 Canadian courses. From 1 to 100, Canada's best courses. Now, here's your host, Bob Weeks.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of SCOREGolf TV here on TSN. Well, as I mentioned off the top of the show, we're in Ontario today in the Muskoka region, and we're at the site of the first real big golf course that was built here. Of course, there are so many up in this Muskoka region, but this is the first one, and this, in my opinion, is still the best one. It is, of course, Deerhurst Highlands at the Deerhurst Resort. There's actually two golf courses here. We're going to show them both to you during the course of our show. And we also have all our regular features, of course, some instruction to help with your game, but we're going to kick things off by talking to some PGA Tour pros.
Prospective, meeting today's PGA Tour stars.
This week, we talk with Canadian PGA Tour star Graham Dillette. The Saskatchewan native is returning from a back injury that sidelined him for most of the 2011 season with a stellar 2012 campaign in which he's posted several top 10 finishes. And while he's been on the tour for 3 seasons now, we wanted to know what his first memory of playing on the PGA Tour is.
You know, probably my first event as a member at Sony Open in 2010. I remember hitting balls next to Ernie Els Thursday morning before going out to play, and that's when I was like, man, I've made it. Like, this is it. Like, you know, this is the guy who's like my hero growing up, won a couple US Opens, and you know, I'm playing against him, trying to beat him this week. So that's kind of when it all sunk in.
All season long, we've been asking tour players the best advice they can offer amateurs to improve their game. This is what Dillette had to offer.
I guess like when I went to university, I was a decent player, but I was nowhere near like you know, any kind of superstar in college at the time. And you know, my coach there taught me a lot of like half shots. I was always like full bore with pretty much everything, including my driver, all my irons and that kind of stuff. And now I hit a lot more. I hit more half shots than I do full shots, and that's kind of it's taken my kind of ball striking and control kind of to the next level. But you know, from a perspective from an amateur player, you see in pro-ams all the time, guys are trying to hit 3-woods out of rough that, you know, I would only hit an 8-iron out of, and they're trying to pound you know, 3-woods or hybrids or whatever out of that rough. So that's kind of what I tell guys in pro-ams, like that, you know, just get the ball back and play and aim for middle of the greens, you know, depending on your skill level, and that should help them quite a bit.
And what about Dillette's favorite golfer of all time? Who influenced his game the most as a young junior moving up the ranks?
Well, Mike Weir for sure. You know, growing up in Canada, he was always my hero, and you know, I still root for him every single week he's in the field. And then, I mean, Tiger's basically the reason why most kids, or people my age, I guess I'm 30 now, I'm not really a kid anymore, but you know, he's the reason that the game really grew. When I go back to my hometown in Weyburn now, when there's 30, 40, 50, 60 kids playing, and when I was a junior, there's only like 3 or 4 of us, so it's amazing how the game has become like cool for kids to play, and it's great to see.
Dillette has just over $1.5 million in career earnings, yet he's still looking for his first tour victory. So how difficult is it to win on the toughest golf tour in the world?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I've been close a couple times now, and you're playing against the best players in the world, right? And it's easy, I guess, watching on TV to, you know, when a guy misses a 4-footer, you're like, come on, man, you got to make that 4-footer. But you know, there's a lot of pressure, obviously, and I think the more and more times that I've been in contention, although I haven't won yet, it's getting easier and easier, and I feel more and more comfortable. So you realize that how hard it is just to get out here and stay out here. But then for guys to be there week in and week out, it's they have something special, that's for sure.
And when he finally does win, which event does he hope to clinch?
I'd love to win a major, but I think winning the Canadian Open would be really special. It's been a long time since any Canadian has done that, and if that's the only tournament I ever won in the rest of my life from here on in, that would probably be the one that I won.
Finally, we asked Graham what player he would least like to face if he was in the final pairing on a championship Sunday.
Tiger Woods, without question. I mean, I've never played with Tiger. I played in front of him a couple of times, and that's even tough, you know, with all the fans moving and then obviously, you know, the intimidation factor. I mean, he's the best that's ever played, and but it'd be a hell of an achievement to take him down.
Currently, Dillette is inside the top 125, and if the FedEx Cup playoffs started today, he'd be included in the first round. After this break, we'll head to Muskoka, Ontario, to Deerhurst Resort and the Highlands course. Well, as I mentioned off the top of the show, today we are at Deerhurst Resort up in the beautiful Muskokas, and the Highlands course here is the original championship golf course up in this area, which now has so many great golf courses, but most people think this one is still the best. Let's have a look around the Highlands course.
Travel Getaways, brought to you by Deerhurst Resort. Stay and play packages with unlimited golf at both resorts. Ontario's best golf getaway deal.
Nestled inside the heart of Muskoka, Deerhurst Resort is more than just a city escape. Yes, there are stunning views and serene lakeside spots, but it also boasts a tremendous track that compares with any other top public layout in Canada. The championship Deerhurst Highlands course is the headliner and stands a cut above all the others in the region.
Muskoka has lots of great golf courses in the region now. Deerhurst was really the golf course that sparked the boom of development in the region, and we kind of like to call it the original championship course in Muskoka.
Since its inception in 1990, the Deerhurst Highlands course has earned itself plenty of accolades, including another spot this year in SCOREGolf's ranking of the top 100 courses in Canada. 6 different sets of tees make the Deerhurst Highlands a perfect fit for the scratch golfer or someone just getting the itch to play. That also makes it ideal for group events and tournaments where everyone can have a fun yet challenging round.
It pretty much is everything. Yeah, you're going to hit everything from driver on some of the big par 4s and longer par 5s, and you're going to have some short irons in your hand when you're playing some of the shorter par 3s. So really, you're going to play every club in the bag.
Designed by Thomas McBroom and Bob Cupp, the Deerhurst Highlands course features several different styles of holes. Elevation changes and rock outcroppings, synonymous with the Muskoka region, are most common during the round, but on the front nine, a trio of holes offers a twist to any golfing experience.
We're pretty fortunate. We have 15 holes that are cut throughout the forest, so to speak, woodland, parkland style golf holes, and then we have 3 holes, 4, 5 and 6, that are link style golf holes, and very unique to this part of the region, very kind of Muskoka and uncharacteristic, but a lot of fun to play.
Also on the 760-acre property is a shorter course called Deerhurst Lakeside. It offers players a quicker 18-hole outing while still providing plenty of enjoyment. Geared towards higher handicap golfers or those in a time crunch, Deerhurst Lakeside is a terrific alternative to the championship-style Highlands, or makes for a great doubleheader.
Well, Deerhurst Lakeside is our slightly shorter par 64 golf course, so really caters to a wide variety of players. From the back tees, it's a good challenge for a good player. It also caters to, your average golfer, your beginner, someone who's more senior. And we have a lot of corporate groups and conferences that stay at the resort. It's also a great option for those guys that are looking to play in 3.5 hours as opposed to your atypical 4.5 hour round at the Highlands.
The Highlands course remains the main draw at Deerhurst Resort, with its picturesque first hole an appealing appetizer for what's to come. Standing on the elevated tee box overlooking the treetops and the lake, the hole's wide fairway slopes downhill to the right, perfect for a booming drive to get the juices flowing.
The first hole is really a great way for someone to come and kickstart their golfing experience at Deerhurst. They arrive on the first tee. There's a spectacular view of Ferry Lake in the distance. It's a short par 4 from an elevated tee. They're looking to play to about 130 yards where you'd play your second shot into the green. Well bunkered on the left-hand side and some out of bounds behind the green. It's what we would consider a fairly easy starting hole.
Over on the 8th hole, a unique shot awaits whichever tee box you're playing from. The pin is protected on all sides here, making accuracy all the more important. Fescue and rock devour any short mishits, while a double green that can easily steer your ball offline will test your flat stick.
Number 8 ranges from anywhere, can be played from anywhere from 125 yards up to 230 yards. The key to playing number 8 is really looking at the center of the green. Again, hitting from an elevated tee over an environmentally sensitive hazard. The prudent play would be to hit the ball into the middle of the green and you know, make it 2-putt and get out of there.
Rounding out the signature holes at Deerhurst Highlands is number 10, with a pond on the left and an imposing 30-foot rock wall on the right. This scenic dogleg par 4 narrows the closer the player gets to the pin, where a well-crafted green complex awaits.
The 10th hole really places a premium on the drive. If you don't hit a drive up into the kind of 200 in, you're looking at a serious upslope. Your second shot is into a green that is protected by a couple of bunkers. Again, the challenge for number 10 is the green site actually has about 3 tiers. So depending on where the pin placement is on that particular day, you have to be very prudent on whereabouts you're going to hit your second shot.
Though golf is Deerhurst Resort's main summer and fall attraction, there are several other off-course activities to enjoy post-game or for the non-golfers on your getaway. From horseback riding to the splash zone on the lake, new treetop trekking to the spa for getting those kinks out, there are so many options it can be difficult to choose. There aren't many perks in this job. Well, there are a lot, but this is one of the best of them. After a round of golf at Deerhurst, come for a massage. Trust me, it's worth it. Deerhurst Resort welcomes thousands of guests every year to Muskoka, just 2 hours and 2 turns north of Toronto. And if you can spare a few extra days yourself, it'll be well worth it.
It's the plethora of activities, it really is. It's the ability to go and shoot some paintballs in the morning and then go and have a spa treatment in the afternoon. Go play some golf in the evening, and early on in the morning you can go do some mountain biking. To drive a rock buggy and then go see a show. There's just so much to do. And to see Muskoka from the water is an exceptional place to be.
The Technology Report, a look at the science, research, and development of the game.
When Puma purchased the Cobra brand from Acushnet last year, many people saw a perfect match for two companies with similar brand styles and philosophies. Both were edgy, fun, and pursuing the younger golf demographic. With Ricky Fowler on staff as their marquee tour player, Cobra Puma are placing themselves in a unique spot, trying to blend both club playability with style and sophistication.
You know, we're 20 months into the acquisition of Cobra Golf and the formation of Cobra and Puma Golf, and 2012 is going to be an exciting year. We are trying to bring literally color to golf. We're trying to bring color, fun, style, and it starts with function and performance, like Ricky as a world-class player, but he has a style and an attitude that's unique and sets him apart, and you know, in that regard, he's a great face for the company. We look at it as a youthful mindset, so it's not an age thing for us, but it is a mindset shift that tends to skew younger. But it is about game enjoyment. I think that's what we have here with the Cobra Puma Golf experience, is bringing our really mission, which is and positioning, which is game enjoyment, to life.
Meanwhile, Cobra's brought back the trusty rusty wedge, which has been off the shelves for nearly 2 decades now. This sleek-looking wedge comes in a special finish that allows it to rust naturally, and it also has numerous loft options.
A Trusty Rusty is a wedge that Cobra's had in its heritage for a while, went away, and we brought it back and we updated it with some modern technologies. It's a high bounce design, so it's very forgiving. Bounce is usually golfers' friends. Obviously, they rust over time. So the Trusty Rusty's been designed up to the maximum allowable spin by the USGA and maximum surface roughness. So here you see a satin finish with pre-rusted score lines. This is a black PVD. We also have a pre-rusted version, and they'll continue to rust over time as the wedge sees more play. As they rust over time, they'll continue to feel softer and softer. So for those that really like a soft, buttery feel around the greens, that's what the rust is all about. The loss range from 49 degrees all the way up to 61 degrees in 2-degree increments. So really any loft available for what golfers are looking for.
Whether you're young or old, Puma and Cobra are producing fun and cool gear that almost every golfer will appreciate. Coming up, more from Deerhurst Resort in Muskoka. Well, one of the great treats here today at Deerhurst Highland is running into this guy, Tom McBroom, who is the one of the co-architects of this development in the Highlands course. And Tom, this was very early in your career. You were working alongside Bob Cupp, but what do you remember about first setting eyes on this property? I'm sure it didn't look like this.
No, it sure didn't, Bob. It was a rough piece of Canadian shield. You know, it was totally tree covered when we first found it, and you could see all the elements of the golf course were there, the rock outcrops and the sheer rock faces. We knew it was going to be a rough piece of ground, but I think it ended up pretty well at the end.
Now you and I have talked about this course many times over the years, and we sort of said this is kind of your words, really, the quintessential Canadian golf course, isn't it?
Yeah, what I meant by that, Bob, was really the use of that granite rock outcropping as a theme in the development of the design. And we use that rock in a lot of different ways, like framing backdrops for greens, or like on number 10 with that vertical rock, cliff becomes a kind of a defining element on the right side of the fairway, and so on. So rock was no longer necessarily an impediment in golf construction, it became a visual theme.
And this was also not only the first sort of big golf course in the Muskoka area, which has just exploded with golf courses over the years, but also really the first big resort course, let's say in the last 50 years, built in Canada.
Yeah, it was. You know, formerly in cottage country you had a lot of family courses or 9-hole courses, that kind of thing, but you never really had the big PGA style golf course, the 7,000 yards, and something that was really would attract the boomer market and the international golf market, and Deerhurst was really the beginning of all that.
Well, that's great. Now we're going to play a hole here, and this is the 11th hole, and we'll talk about the specifics of designing this one as we go along, okay?
Great.
Okay.
Good swing.
Okay, I'll take that one. Over to you, Tom.
That was good.
Oh, good ball. Good ball. Just like you're supposed to play this hole. It's like almost like you designed it. This hole really was almost as you found it. You didn't really move a lot of earth or do a lot of blasting or anything here.
No, this was one of the, maybe the most natural hole that we had at Deerhurst. It just, after we cleared the trees, it just had this wonderful natural flow and fall to it. And so we really didn't have to create a lot of features or shape anything. It was all just here.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find a natural swing here and hit this ball onto the green. Watch what happens.
Got the right shape.
Draw, I don't have the right, didn't quite get it. Get up there, ball.
It's not bad.
Oh, good swing. If that's the right club. Oh, no. I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble. Good shot, Tom.
Good chip, Bob.
Well, it's on the green anyway. So, Tom, how would you describe the greens here at Highlands?
Well, they were built to a high specification. When we built the course, they're built to USGA spec, you know, with a gravel blanket and proper mix, and they're bent grass greens. This was an early variety of bent grass, the Pencross variety.
Okay. When you're building a green, how do you come up with the shapes? Because some of them look pretty ingenious.
Well, again, that's the magic of design is trying to is the shaping and the contouring of a whole golf course, including the greens. But you know, in simple terms, you try and marry the green shape and the green contour to the site. You try and fit it in, as we say, fit it into the landscape rather than trying to impose a green in a way that doesn't fit. You try and fit it in.
Oh, looks pretty good. Oh, a little opening.
Not a very good.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I got to sink this one to beat you. Oh,
good try.
Rob.
Right on the edge.
That was great, Tom. Thanks. I really appreciate it and all your inside info about Deerhurst Highlands.
Thanks, Bob. Good fun.
Okay. You know, I've known the Director of Instruction, Dave Castellan, up here at Deerhurst for a long time, and for many years he always was talking about swing plain, and I thought he meant like swing boring, you know, swing ordinary. Wasn't what he meant. In fact, he meant something very important, something you need to know, and he explains it on this week's instruction segment.
Swing School, lessons to help you play better golf.
Hi folks, Dave Castellan from the Deerhurst Golf Academy. Today I'm working with my friend Josh here, hoping to establish a little better backswing for him when it comes to the swing plane. Please take your setup, Josh. One of the big traps most golfers get into is they activate their dominant hand too much on the backswing, which creates a path of the club coming inside. What we're going to discuss through a little drill will be to take the club back properly so that the shaft is level to the ground and parallel to the target line. Now we've achieved the proper position here in the backswing where it's level to the ground and parallel. You'll see the back of his left hand. The opposite occurs when he comes forward, and ideally we have this natural release taking place. There's the back of his right. It's level to the ground and parallel to the target line. From here, Josh, just go to your start position. Now, if you get your buddy or you have a teaching aid or a golf club, will utilize just fine. You set up here to practice this passive hand drill. You put the butt of the club on the shaft and it's parallel to the target line. He will now draw the club back along that, tracking it so that now, once again, we've established the ideal position for that backswing. From there now, folks, if you need any help with your game, please see your PGA of Canada professional.
After this break, we'll take a look at the lighter side of golf.
Now, the lighter side of golf, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra, now available in Canada.
Hi, I'm Liam Mucklow with the Golf Lab, and in today's lesson we're going to talk about practice with consequence. This is something that we do with all of our athletes to help mimic the pressure situations you find yourself in on the golf course. So today I'm coming to you from the Dealey Harley-Davidson building just north of Toronto, and the consequences that I've lined up for myself are, number one, all those glass windows if I don't carry this ball at least 78 yards. The second consequence is those two bad dudes down there who will be waiting for me if I don't pull those off. So what I got to do is get focused, have the right club in my hand, know my yardage, and hit the shot. All right, I managed to pull it off this time. A couple ways that you can start to practice with consequence next time you're out at the range. Limit the number of total shots you're going to hit. Pick targets and only hit one shot at that target to make yourself pull it off. And also induce other challenges like I can't miss left or I can't miss right. Employ these tips next time you're on the range and you'll be on your way to better scores in no time.
Week Speaks is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the Pro 1M and Tour Z6 rangefinders.
But you can't come to Muskoka without sitting in a Muskoka chair. I mean, that's part of the experience, isn't it? And there are so many great experiences in this country from coast to coast. Now, recently, SCOREGolf released its top 100 ranking for 2012, and the vast majority of courses on that list were available for people to go and play. They're public or they're resort courses. And that's why it always surprises me why so many of my friends, when they pack their bags to go golfing, they head south of the border or they go to Europe or Scotland or Ireland or Mexico. Folks, if you have the chance, play in your own country. You won't be disappointed whether you're out in British Columbia or out on the East Coast in Prince Edward Island or right here in Muskoka at Deerhurst. Great golf courses, great opportunities to see your country, and great enjoyment and experiences you will never forget. So check that out. And we will check you out next time right here on SCOREGolf TV.
Thanks for watching Score Golf on TSN, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is powered by Volkswagen. From one good drive to another. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, Feed Your Wild Side, and Kelowna Tourism. 19 golf courses from easygoing to ego-shattering.
Clothing provided by Callaway Golf Canada.